Hi guys, I'm joined by a very special guest. I have Joe Russell-Maden, who plays for Edinburgh Caledonian. Welcome to the channel. How are you today?
I'm good, yeah, good.
So we'll just go through the questions. So the first one is, when did you get into football?
So I started playing football when I was quite young, around probably about 7 or 8, maybe. My sisters, I've got two older sisters, and they both played football as well. So we used to kick about with them, and we joined the same club that they played for as well. So yeah, quite a young starter.
So then, who got you into football, or is it just the same with your sisters?
Yeah, so we've always been a big football family, so we support a big club in Edinburgh. But yeah, so we've always kind of watched football on telly, and then my sister, she's 4 years older than me, so she got herself into football to start off with, and then being a younger sister, I was jealous of that and wanted to do everything that she did. So yeah, I got into it myself from there, and just yeah, I've always enjoyed it. And I think having family that was also playing and sisters as well who were kind of, being kind of role models of like girls playing football, it was really kind of inspiring.
So who was the role model that you looked up to as a kid?
So I'd say probably kind of when I was growing up, I didn't know kind of many female footballers at the time. Role models in terms of football would have been, players that I was watching from kind of local football teams support, going along to football games with my dad. Players like, I was watching, like when I was growing up as a Hibs fan, watching, like Scott Brown, people like that who were just, very kind of big parts of teams that I was supporting at the time. And then obviously kind of locally, with my sisters playing football and family, all those kind of links.
What is your favourite football memory?
Playing football would probably be there were some kind of big games when we were younger. So I remember, playing at kind of just grass pitches around Edinburgh and scoring some goals. In those games, probably some of my favourite times playing football was playing football at university. There was a couple of teams at the university teams, and I made lots of kind of good friends with that. So I'd say probably some of my best football memories are with my university team, because we would go kind of all around Scotland, playing against other universities, and it was getting to play football, but also kind of getting to have a really kind of nice social side to it as well. So yeah, one of my best memories of playing football was probably we played in a cup final, and we won. We won two. I think it was 2-1 in the end, and it was just quite a momentous kind of day. And I think that's one of the nice things about football is that kind of regardless of kind of what leagues you're playing in, what level you're playing in, it still means the same for everybody, regardless. So, it was a kind of a cup final for the twos team that we were playing for at the time, but it was still one of the best memories that I've had.
How would you describe your playing style?
For Cali,
Yeah.
so our playing style is kind of changed this year because we've had Ewan, the new coach, has kind of come in, so he's kind of been changing things around a little bit. We've probably got quite a good kind of structure now. We kind of have kind of tactics, and we kind of know what we're doing. So our playing style is kind of very much kind of trying to get to pass the ball as much as we can, to get on the ball as much as we can, and kind of just kind of slowing the pace of the game down so we can read the game. And if something's not on, that's okay, to instead of forcing passes, kind of just trying to relax on the ball and play good football. And that's something that Ewan's definitely trying to encourage in the team of don't if things aren't on, we don't need to force things. We can relax. We've got the personnel in the team to be able to do those sorts of things, to be comfortable on the ball, to kind of play out from the back, rather than just kind of lumping the ball up. And we've seen kind of successes from that already this season. We've had a really great start to the season, and that's things that we just keep building on at training. Very much kind of working on those things all the time at training, just getting composure on the ball, and being confident, I guess, in how we're playing as well. And that's definitely week on week as we're getting the results, we're kind of seeing how that's working, and we can see the success that we're getting from that. So we're just continuing with that, and kind of working on little things and adapting as we go.
Have you got any advice to young girls wanting to start playing football?
Go for it. I'm a school teacher myself, and one of the big things that I say to pupils is, getting to sports, whether that be football or other kind of sports. Getting into a team sport is just something that can be so it can give you so many opportunities throughout your life. You can go all over the world, maybe with work and things like that. But you can join, football clubs or sports clubs all over the world and make friends. And it's just such a good kind of thing to get into, not only for kind of health and well-being, but also thinking about that social side of being able to connect with people, being able to build friendships and relationships that last throughout your life. So definitely something that, and it's a great time for young girls to be getting into football, obviously with the Euros and the World Cup, and it's women's football is just growing and growing and growing, and it's just a fantastic time to be able to get into it. And there's so many kind of clubs and opportunities now available to girls getting into football that and parents out there as well, if we can encourage girls and to get into football, and not just football but other sports, to have those skills and to be able to have something that they can go into for and play for the rest of their life is just really, really important.
See how you said you're a teacher, would you say that there is the rise of like more girls wanting to play football, either since before the Euros or like after the Euros and the World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. And even in the time that I've been teaching, I think there's been a big change, and I definitely think that's coming from seeing these things on telly and the kind of exposure of those things. The World Cup there, some of the crowds were attending those games was just amazing. And I think that it shows girls that there's opportunities in women's football that maybe when I was younger, it wasn't so visible, and that kind of changes your perspective on where you could maybe go with football. Whereas now, it's so visible, and we've got so many good role models in Scotland and across the world now in women's football. So yeah, definitely, it's really encouraging to see girls now, talking about football and knowing that that's a viable option for them, not only socially but also as a career as well. And definitely from within the environment that I'm working, it's definitely something that we're seeing now is that kind of enthusiasm for football, and it's lovely for me to be able to be a role model for that as well. So within at work, I'm able to share my experience of playing football when I was younger, and also be able to talk about that now and be a role model for those girls getting into football.
What's the best advice you've ever been given while playing football?
Good question. Probably something like coaches kind of tell me to just do your thing. You get kind of a lot of advice, but sometimes you just kind of need to trust in your own ability. And I think that goes a long way. There's obviously you've coaches have got different styles, but if you believe in yourself and believe in your own ability, that kind of gives you that bit of like creativity. It allows you to kind of put your mark on a game, and if you're confident with that, you'll keep improving.
Did you play any other sports when younger, or was it just kind of football?
I've played all a variety of sports throughout my life. I've liked to try a bit of everything. Tennis was something that I played for a little while, so I played tennis alongside football. But I kind of got to a point when I was at the start of kind of high school where I was doing quite well with football. I was playing almost 7 times a week with lots of different kind of like variations of club football, and kind of progressing with other kind of aspects of that as well. So I kind of had to make a choice in terms of time commitments and everything like that. So tennis was something that I was interested in, or played, a lot when I was growing up alongside football. But I think the appeal of football is, it's a national sport for a reason. It's just so appealing. Like, I love playing it, I love watching it, and I still do. So yeah, that's kind of why I continued with that and continued with football and went in that direction.
Who do you prefer, Ronaldo or Messi?
I think I like Messi's kind of creativity. I think I'm going to have to go with Messi on that.
What is your favourite cheat meal to have either after a game or just whenever?
Um, I'm gonna have to say McDonald's. I think growing up, that was always on the way back from a away trip was just you could see those golden arches and you're just drawn right in. I think some of my teammates will laugh at that as well because they probably see us nipping into McDonald's every so often still. But yeah, definitely a McDonald's.
Have you got any pre-match superstitions?
No pre-match superstitions, although we've recently our resident DJ for Edinburgh Cali has a particular playlist that she puts on before when we're driving to the games. So we feel like we have to play the exact same songs and the exact same playlist to get us hyped. So it kind of starts off with a particular feel and then it gets quite intense at some point. So we feel like we have to play that to keep up the good results.
If you could play any position well, what position would you pick?
I would say I'm a little bit of a glory hunter, so I'd love to be a striker that just scores all of the goals. But I do play centre mid, so I don't get as many goals. But I'd say centre midfield is my better position. I feel more comfortable there. I'm able to be quite creative there. But if I could be, top goal scorer for a team in the Prem, that would be the dream.
What teams do you support?
So I'm a big Hibs fan. I think I mentioned that previously. I've been supporting them throughout my life. So yeah, that's definitely go. A season ticket there. Go to as many away games as you can. In the last few years, been going to or getting more into the Scotland team. I think just because we've been quite successful, both the women's and the men's team, so that's been quite nice to support as well. And in terms of kind of other football teams, I love just watching football. So we're always watching kind of the Prem, the Champions League, all of those. Just because football can, anything can happen in games, and it's just quite interesting to watch these games and just see, what can happen.
What would be your dream team and stadium to play?
Dream team to play against.
Dream stadium and then your dream team.
Good question. Dream stadium. I'm going to be biased, and I would say I would just really love to play at Easter Road. I also have fond memories of Hampden, but I would also, there's some stadiums I've been to across across Europe as well. So Benfica was a really went there to watch a game one time. And yeah, in terms of kind of a team to play with, there'd be kind of lots of individuals, that I've seen playing that I would like to play with. Probably too many to name actually, but I think I would love to. There's some, female footballers that are, when I watch them, it's just so impressive. The Lionesses have got lots of players in there that, it would be lovely to be able to, have a game with and feel really inadequate against. But yeah, there are probably too many to name.
What do you think of the growth of women's football, and what more do you think can be done for the women's game?
I think the growth of women's football has been amazing over the past few years, and obviously we talked about the Euros and the World Cup, and just that kind of visibility of the women's game has been fantastic. I've got a good friend that plays for Hearts ladies, for Hearts women, and to be able to go to her games at Tynecastle and go to her games at Easter Road and to see her on Sky Sports, we've watched her on as well, is just so amazing. And I think all that kind of the visibility of football and to be able to see these people living out their dream and to do that is just so inspiring for young girls. And obviously we're seeing that across the UK but also across the world as well. So yeah, so it's definitely growing in really really positive ways. And I think in terms of next steps for growing women's football, would just be to continue with that visibility and also just the opportunities at grassroots level. Starting up clubs, but we know that this is hard. It takes volunteers to start up these things, but we know that clubs have been growing and there's more girls that are interested. And I'd say, from a perspective of, seeing women or seeing girls in sports, we know that at an age that girls tend to drop out of sports is around that kind of transition to high school age. So, something that we could do to maybe support that would just be, targeting that kind of age group to make sure that, we're keeping girls in sport and keeping girls in football, especially that age where girls are maybe less or maybe tend to drift away from sports and things. So that would be maybe a focus in terms of the structure in general.
So the next part I've got is like questions about the squad. So who would you say is the best dressed in the squad?
Best dressed in the squad, I would have to say Margot. Her dress sense is quite interesting, but I'd say she probably makes quite a good effort with that. So I'll go with Margot.
And who's got the worst dress sense?
Apart from myself, we'll maybe have to go with our coach Ewan. He'll probably be quite offended with that, but he's always wearing a cap, and I think he thinks it's quite cool. But I'm not sure we all agree.
Who is most likely to be a millionaire?
Good question. There's lots of people in the team that are just kind of very interesting. They all do kind of interesting jobs. We'd go, I'm trying to think. I would say probably our captain, Sammy. Feel like she's a dark horse. She could maybe just have a wee business idea, and the next thing we know, she's a millionaire and she hasn't even told us. So, yeah, maybe go with Sammy.
Who is most likely to become Prime Minister?
Prime Minister. Maybe Cleaver. So Kirsty Cleaver in our team. I'll maybe go with her because she chats a lot of rubbish. So she would maybe make her way to the top with that.
Who has the best music taste?
Best music taste. Again, Margot would want me to say her, but I'm going to have to say our previous coach, Maggie. She loved a wee bit of ABBA. She loved a wee bit of, just old school, old music. And she got a bit of a slagging for that. But actually, for me, I enjoyed that. So I'll go Maggie.
Who's got the worst music taste?
I would maybe say me. I don't think the team would be too impressed with my musical playlists and that kind of stuff in the changing room. So yeah, I'll go me on that.
If you had to swap lives with another player, who would it be and why?
Ooh. I would say I would swap lives with. Don't know if they're that interesting to swap lives with. I would maybe say Margot. Margot is half French, so she's quite often gallivanting in France. So I would quite like to swap lives with her, so I could get a wee holiday to France every now and again.
Who's most likely to get lost in a forest?
Lost in a forest. Katie Watt. Yeah, I think she would just be wandering about and just not have a clue. She maybe wouldn't even know that she's lost in the forest as well.
So that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for coming on, and I hope everyone has enjoyed watching it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.